All right, guys, you've asked us to react to The Chosen, which we've done in the past, which was good, well received. But before I even wanted to do that, I wanted to react to the OG of Jesus's, the Jesus of Nazareth.
The OG
series.
of Jesus is, well, there's an OG or Jesus than the Jesus of Nazareth.
I don't know. He's my favorite. Whoever played Jesus in Jesus of Nazareth, that was my favorite one.
Yeah.
With all the tons of Jesuses that have played Jesus. I don't even know the guy's name, but anyway, we're gonna take a snippet from the 9-hour movie, which was, I think, is supposed to be a TV series or something.
Oh,
like
wow.
that.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take a look at the parable of the prodigal son.
Let's take a look at it.
I'd like to tell you a story. Sit down, sit down.
Sit down.
A certain man had 2 sons. And one day the younger of these sons said to his father, "Give me my share of your estate now." So his father divided his wealth between his 2 sons. And a few days later, this younger son set off for a distant land. And there he squandered all the money he had on riotous living. Now, not long after this, a great famine swept over the land, and the boy began to starve. He persuaded a farmer to hire him to feed his pigs, but he was so hungry that even the husks he was feeding the swine began to look good to him. And still, nobody gave him anything. Finally, the boy came to his senses. At home, even my father's servants have enough food, and to spare. And here I am starving to death. I will go home and ask my father to hire me as one of his servants. And so, he set off. Now he was still some distance from his home when his father saw him coming. And he was so filled with compassion that he ran towards his son and embraced him and kissed him. The boy said, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and you. I am not worthy to be called your son." But his father called for the servants and said, "Bring me the finest robe in the house and put it on him. Put rings on his hands and shoes on his feet. Kill the fatted calf. We must celebrate with a feast." My son was dead and is alive again. Now, the older brother, at this time, was working in the fields. And as he came back to the house, he heard the noise of music and dancing. He called for one of the servants and asked what was happening. And he was told. At this, the older brother became very angry, and he refused to go into the house. The father came out, tried to plead with him, but he wouldn't listen. "I have worked for you all this time, all these years, and never once have I disobeyed you. And in all that time, you've never even given me so much as a goat so that I could have a feast with my friends. My younger brother comes back, having spent all your money on harlots, and for him you kill the fatted calf. Please," said the father. "Please, try to understand. You are always with me. Everything I have is yours. But it is right to celebrate. Your brother was dead. And is alive again. He was lost. And is found.
Forgive me, Master. I'm... I'm just a stupid man.
If the music... I had the time of my life.
What's that in your head?
When the two disciples get close to each other.
Jesus, what a party buzzkill, man. They were like, tell us a story at the party. And he was like, laid that on them. They're all like,
I know.
what are we going to do now?
Jesus, the proper Englishman. Jesus looks like one of the Bee Gees in that. Really reflects the time that movie was made in. You know what I mean? And I love how the disciples all look like cavemen compared to Jesus. And in the end, it really looked like they were going to kiss.
Yeah. But with all the funniness aside, I always enjoyed that story. Always enjoyed that scene from Jesus of Nazareth. Probably teared me up even the first time I saw it too.
Did it do that this time?
Not really, because you were giggling in the background. But I do kind of... The reason I was thinking about that lately is because it's pitting kind of the two groups with... That was about, like, for those who need context, the disciples are the Jews and the people at the party were the Gentiles, the unbelievers. And Jesus was going into a place that Jews weren't supposed to... They weren't supposed to do that. And he was going out to hang with the Gentiles. And then he tells this, metaphorical story trying to bring the two groups together, like as... the Jews were doing everything they were supposed to, and the Gentiles sinned and left, but they can always come back. There's always come back. And I was thinking about, trying to make it relevant for today. We've got so many groups, whether it's, conservative versus liberal, right or left, or pit any group where it's like you've got one ideological stance facing another ideological stance, and they're demonizing the other side. To me, I kind of see this story as trying to bring groups together. What it would be like. Can you take a story like that, look at it, see your enemy on the other side, and embrace them?
That's it. Enough said. That's the answer. Wise and good. No, it's a good story. Yeah. Like, let's not get anything wrong here. Everything Jesus said there was correct and perfect. The father going to the older brother and saying to him, hey, try to understand this. Your brother was dead. Correct. He was dead. He was dead and lost in sin, and he's back. But the truth is, brothers is brothers.
Yeah.
And in the realm of nature, y'all gonna be competing for your entire goddamn life. And that stuff, if you have kids or you've been a kid or you've had siblings or whatever, unless you're the goddamn Osmonds or some like happy, shiny people, kids are like, why are they getting what I'm having? Amen or not amen?
Yeah.
Is that an amen?
Yeah.
Can I get an amen? That's the reality. That would sting so bad. You fucking cocksucker. He ran off with his inheritance and had a ball.
Yeah.
He wasn't dead. I was here working, man. Throw me a fucking party.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking on behalf of that because it's not nothing. Don't be a simpleton. Don't be like, be the Jesus. Don't be the disciples that are like, I'm moved and that's that. Closed book. I'm a stupid man. That's all I am is a stupid man. You can be better than that. It's more nuanced than that. Maybe don't set up the situation to begin with where one brother's like, I got to get out of this nightmare and go spend my living. Because this is, you know what I mean? I didn't leave for no reason. I'm not just wicked by my nature. I was a wicked man and I went and did that. You know, he came home to an older brother that wasn't even celebrating that he was gone.
Yeah.
Wasn't even celebrating that he was. So there's the whole pre-story. Jesus can be absolutely correct there, but you are dust, and you shall return to dust. And in this realm, details matter. That's where the devil actually is in the details. And you're doomed to relive the same nonsense over and over again if you don't actually do what God does and say, all right, devil, come on in here. Let's have a little barter over Job's soul. That's what God gets to do. And you can, and Jesus said, you know, behold, you'll do greater things than me. There were several times in Jesus' things, at least once that I can think of, where he said, don't be so marveled by me. You're going to go do greater things. And that's what I'm calling the Christians that are moved by this be. Be that greater thing Jesus expects you to be, and don't have a childish cartoon coloring book version of it. Like, well, that must mean I can pick up snakes. Like, you know what I mean? Don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Jesus was smart. The other guy revealed himself by stepping forward and going, I'm just a stupid man. I don't know what the hell's going on. You know what I mean? That's tender and nice because humility is a good thing, you know? But you move beyond being a stupid man to understanding what Jesus understands now. And you can say, like, you know, get over yourselves. But you could also probably avoid, you know, skip the drama mama by not creating an environment that causes that kind of hostility. Yeah. What were you doing before the brothers left? Pitting them against each other? Well, why aren't you more like your older brother? Why aren't you more like your little brother? People do that shit all the time, not knowing that that's traumatic. That'll cause you to skip town with a fortune. You know what I mean? Fuck this, man. I'm not doing this. I'm not competing. And then when you come back to the fold, come back to the same thing that you forgot why you even left. Yeah, the system starts up again, and then you go live the whole drama, reconcile everybody with tears again. And I'm saying skip that. And if your answer is no, it can't be skipped, and Jesus is just right, and that's that, then I go, then go off and continue like you've been doing for thousands of years.
Yeah, there's another chink in the chain here too, is that when you have ideological positions on either side looking at each other, each one thinks the other one is the prodigal son. So there's another situation too.
The self-bias.
The self-bias to not be able to see. And so that's an issue in itself. Like, what do you do with that? Because you're like waiting pretentiously, like, you know, or like you think that they're going to come, you know, eventually they'll come to their senses and they'll come over. It's like, you might be the one that needs to come to their senses. So,
yes, come to their senses, but yeah, how much can you even say? Like, you know, you can also get lost in the details. The devil might be hiding in those details, but you can also ruminate on the details forever, and sometimes it's just good to go, all right, that's enough now. Yeah. And so I think we both said good things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll leave it at that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our reaction on this one. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone, till next time,
stay spiritual.